I just introduced you guys to the MicroBit microcontroller, but you might have heard of other products like, the Arduino, which I'm going to put here. This is an Arduino Mega, and another Arduino that's very popular is this Arduino Uno over here. You might have seen these or heard about these, or maybe you've heard about the word Raspberry Pi. Here's a Raspberry Pi Model 3. Here's a much older and modified by me Raspberry Pi Model 1, and here's a Raspberry Pi 0. These are incredibly small and very easy to integrate into your projects. So you might be wondering why use a MicroBit for this course instead of these other platforms, like the Arduino or the Raspberry Pi. Well, first of all, the MicroBit works great with graphical programming. As a first-time programmer, graphical programming is great because you still use computer science principles, but computer science principles as in problem solving using computer science, just like the other platforms. But unlike that, you don't have to learn the syntaxes and how the nitty-gritty details as to used in text-based programming. Still, what we learn here is directly applicable to text-based programming. So if you do want to use text-based programming, great. This is a great starting point, and that's a great step up. Furthermore, this is a Raspberry Pi, right? This needs an operating system to run. As you can see, it uses this micro SD card to hold an operating system. It uses Linux, in fact. So setting that up for a first-time user can be extremely daunting, an extremely daunting task. You can get confused, lost in there. The Arduino Uno doesn't use an operating system, but it does have a bootloader built in. But the thing is, if you want to connect any sensor or anything, you cannot create any project without connecting something. Say you want to connect a screen, right? The MicroBit over here has a screen built in. But if you want to connect a screen, such as this one, to an Arduino, you suddenly have to connect all these pins that you see here to all the pins here. So you'll have to use connectors and cables such as these. These are called jumper wire cables. And you'll have to physically connect it. There are options such as shield. So this is a shield. This is a touchscreen shield, and something like this can simply be mounted on top of the Arduino. But now you've got a screen, great. But what if you want to add buttons? You can't really do that. With the MicroBit, everything's built in. So you can just, if you want to make a simple project, or at least 80% of this course, in fact, will not use any external sensors. We'll just use all the sensors built into the MicroBit. So you don't need to connect anything. The same is the story with the Raspberry Pi. If you want to connect any sort of sensors, you've got to use these pins. These are called Gpio pins, the ones you see on the side right here. If I can get into focus. Yep, all these pins right here. If you want to connect anything, you got to connect it via that. So I'll show you some sensors. For example, here's a PIR sensor. This is used to detect movement. So if you want to connect to any of these boards, and you can also connect to the MicroBit, of course, you need to know exactly how to wire it, and that adds a layer of complexity. In the MicroBit, it's very straightforward. If you want to add a sensor like the flex sensor, so this detects if something's flexed. So you can put this in a cushion or something, and if someone sits on it, this will flex and it'll tell your device here that's being sat on. So again, all these need to be connected via pins. Another advantage is you can use something like alligator clips. Alligator clips are big and very easy to connect, and they don't move around easily. So yeah, that's why I'll be using the MicroBit for this course. Nonetheless, there are great advantages of the Arduino and Raspberry Pi platform. For example, you want to connect sensors, right? With the MicroBit, you can only easily connect sensors to the following pins: 0, 1, and 2. All the other microscopic pins that you see here, the issue with those tiny little pins are that they're used to control the screen, so you can't really get much more functionality out of it. With the Arduino, for example, you have, as you can see, just the Uno, you have tons of pins, and you can also step up to something like an Arduino Mega, which has a good 40-50 pins. So if you want to have a project with multiple inputs and outputs, this is great. In fact, Arduino Megas are usually used to run 3D printers. The Raspberry Pi is great for IoT-based projects. The Raspberry Pi can easily do stuff like image recognition, data collection, aggregation, and a lot more. And you can do a lot of these voice recognition as well. You can use projects like this, and you can all have it real-time synced to the internet with the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi chips that are built into the Raspberry Pi. Plus, you can add peripherals. You can add peripherals using the USB ports, or you can connect it to the internet via the networking, Ethernet jack, etc. So this is great for that. Not to mention, the MicroBit is only limited to Python and JavaScript-based programming if you want to use text-based, while the other two platforms can use a lot more. languages of coding, which is a lot more easy. Plus, stuff like the Raspberry Pi, again, you get multiple shapes and sizes. Here's a tiny Raspberry Pi Zero that's very easy to integrate, just as small as the MicroBit, in fact, but it's very easy to integrate into any of your projects. With the Arduino, I don't have one on display, but you get stuff like the Arduino Micro, which are in fact smaller than this Raspberry Pi Zero here, and those are also very easy to integrate. Furthermore, Arduino is open source, so you can find clones for the Arduino online, and they're super cheap. They're you can get them from $10 to $15, and they're a lot easier to start out with. Plus, since the Arduino and Raspberry Pi have been around in the community for so long, you will find a lot more support, online support through forums for these two platforms. But the MicroBit is created by the BBC, so there's still a lot of support for it, and our entire course, the support for all the projects we do and future projects will be provided by me, so don't worry about that.